What's up, guys? My name is Nikhil, and I am going to be performing the All-State GMEA All-State Band 2018-2019 Snare Etude for concert band. This is grades 9 to 10, and it's going to be the Snare Etude. I'll be performing the Snare Etude, Mallet Etude, and Timpani Etudes, posting them all on my YouTube page here in just a bit. And I will be playing this etude, and afterwards I will give some tips and advice for playing this etude and for just the audition in general. So, hope you enjoy. Now, one thing that sticks out about this etude almost immediately is the fact that it is pretty musical and it's very sort of reliant on dynamics, and it sounds pretty cool. Like the final section, that entire thing sounds very just groovy, and it just sounds better than a lot of the other etudes really did. Granted, it is a lot easier than the etudes from the past few years, and including even the 8th grade etude back in middle school a couple years ago, because at the very end it has this little these 30-second note passages that this doesn't have, like that. It has that, which is kind of weird. But really, so there's a couple things I need to point out. Now, the first thing I really should address and concern is how you're supposed to approach any moderato section, and basically just the first section of it. That's where it says the BPM is 76. The best way to approach this is to sort of have your metronome set at times 2 of that. Now, it says 76. I kind of assumed it's 75, and so just set my metronome to 150. Now, luckily, this is kind of what 150 is. That's 150. So I play in my head all that rhythm, so just and the 16th note would equal an 8th note, and the 32nd notes would equal 16 notes, and that's kind of what I kind of played at the beginning, like that. I kind of just played it like that. Now, at the beginning, it really isn't too difficult, but the one thing I want to address is sort of coming out into that on measure 3, when you go. Really, you need to emphasize that accent. It doesn't, the normal accent in a piano would just be like that. So like that. That would be a normal piano accent. But really, right here when it goes like that, you should do like that. Even though the dynamic says piano, you should, and it's decrescendoing, you should make that accent pop a lot, because really that accent really is just emphasized. And then the next section goes. Apologize for the pad rolls; they don't sound good on here. This is the Remo pad, so that's why. You should make that the tightest sound you got. If you heard my snare drum, I was making that really just tight and just focused, and that's what I try to do. And one thing you need to avoid is in that section, that accent. A lot of people put an accent, including myself. For a while I was doing this so I measure 5, where at the third and fourth beat, I would go like that instead of going like that. You shouldn't really have an accent, but a lot of people want to go like emphasize that second one just because in a regular, because it's not just it's a flam, it's a like, so people go like instead of going like that. That's what you're supposed to do. And then finally, when you get to the allegro, it is not that hard. I mean, 120 is just, so it's just like that. And so measure 8 is really, we have to kind of focus, because measure 8 has the section of, because a lot of people, including myself, they would go, it's actually like that. And also, like I said, the accent needs to pop a lot. And you should even not even worry about the crescendo there. So like, that was a little rush. Like that. You should do that and then go, because then, but just really emphasize that first, and then like that. And then the next section is not too hard. Make sure you emphasize that, like that, and then that's the trickiest part for me, and it's kind of, mainly because you need to make sure you don't go like just rushing it. Go like that, and then also those accents need to pop too. But like those accents need to pop. Not a lot of the accents need to pop, but just make sure those kind of accents that really like make it. That just makes it sound more musical. So that's what it is. And then I also put an accent on that on measure 13 on the third beat. I usually put an accent on the first 8th note just to emphasize that crescendo. And then the rest of that's not too hard. I usually, when I do the for measure 14, what I do is I go instead of going. That's hard. That's a little harder for me personally. I don't do alternate stickings. I just go just right hand, just to make it a little more easy on me. Just not make sure I get those drags completely right. So instead of going, that's actually a little more, it doesn't flow as well for me going, instead of going. And then after that, those flam accents are tricky. That's actually a little tricky. See, I messed up there. So make sure you do crescendo on beat 1 and 2. A lot of people go. Sorry. A lot of people will do that instead. Go. Notice I put a crescendo there. And the next measure, I think measure 18 and 19 will be the most messed up in my opinion, because really it's the because it's so it's like this is skeleton of measure 18 and measure 18 is a lot of people go like they'll rush it a lot, and really it goes just think of it as a skeleton like that, and just go yeah, just do that. Just emphasize that, and just don't rush it. Don't rush it, because a lot of people will rush it. Then yeah, that last section is just really fun and it sounds awesome. And then, but when you get to the final one, for me, I always emphasize the accents a lot more than just the regular notes, because usually I just go like really loud, those accents, but make sure you keep everything at forte except for the accents, like fortissimo basically. Like that. I practice just 22 and 23, just keep doing that over and over again. Have a little exercises. I usually just do like those just first. And again, I recommend for that final note, don't go like, just keep that eighth note at a steady, that eighth note with the right hand. Keep that eighth note at a right hand. Well, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the Snare Etude, and there'll be more future videos in the future. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, just work on the audition and just make sure you'll do well for it. The All-Star audition is in a few days. It's next week, actually. So just prepare for that and just good luck.